Welcome to Atlantic Television Network Society Watch. This is a program where we ventilate societal issues, give them aggregate attention with a view to provide solutions that will benefit humanity. On today's Society Watch, we're looking at numbers of issues starting from
for exam malpractice.
From Edo State, Agbomere pledged to eradicate poverty, unemployment.
And in Ogun State, the 33-year-old man commits suicide in Ipamaki, Ibafo.
From Kano State, allegedly stabbing mate to death. These are the issues we will be looking at today, and our guest for today is
season be filled with joy, laughter, and beautiful moments. From all of us in Morrison Communications Limited, Wish 99.5 FM and Atlantic Television Network, we wish you a Merry Christmas full of amazing experiences. Cheers to a beautiful year end.
people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
you human trafficker.
Honourable
You're a human
to hold a referendum. So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network. And joining us in the studio this afternoon is Dr. Obarido Thompson Okochi. Thank you, sir, for joining me in the studio.
You're
this
welcome.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And you look good, sir. All right, our first story for today is from Rivers State. The Nigerian Police Force has reported Rivers State Police Command. Additionally, two plasma televisions, gold value at over 5 million, and a standing fan previously taken from the victim has been returned. Human rights activist Israel Joe confirmed the refund of the money and items to his team last Friday in a conversation with reporters. According to him, an equivalent of almost 89 million to plasma televisions said gold worth over 5 million, and a standing fan carted away from the victim's house and handed over to the team. The victim and I on Friday, 2nd December 2023, was confirmed and released earlier hour of today. We had gone severally to Port Harcourt and Abuja in search of the truth and justice that has been delivered to us. The IPO Emmanuel Etang and his group that perpetrated the crime are being disciplined by the police who have lied with the name of the IGP and other top officials to extort. We express gratitude to the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Batokun, and his team for his sagacious move of justice as well as cleanup of the Rivers State Police Command. He urged the new commissioners of police and Rivers State CP Tunji Disu to continue the monitoring pipeline facilities in Delta State. That was what Davidson told them. The man was initially arrested on allegations of involvement in cybercrime and ritualist activities, which led to the search of the residence by operatives and the discovery of substantial sum of money concealed in a premises, notably atop the ceiling. Now, when this incident happened, Davison actually told them that this money was meant for the payment of the contractors. And then they came up to say he is a ritualist. They came up to say he's this and that and that. But now we are glad, we are excited. This shows that police security are really, really on their toes. They are really working to come up to finally bring, for them to finally gain justice and get back their property. But again, since this year, 2023, there has been so many reports about police extorting money from commuters, from drivers, from masses, and so have you. So do you think this is, with what the news we have now, that others that have been a victim of this kind of circumstances would also gain justice?
It's a two-way thing. Many of our citizens who are affluent and rich, sincerely, their hands are not clean. It's difficult to find a Nigerian whose money is legit, from 0 kobo to billions. A lot of compromises go on. So, and that has colored the way the public views rich men. Now, I am not going to stay here and say that every rich Nigerian has compromised or is getting money through illegitimate. Saying that amount of the ceiling.
It was found in the ceiling, actually.
Immediately you hear that it was found in the ceiling. What will a normal human being conceive of in his mind? Why will...
But before we proceed, you said something that most of these men, their monies are not clean. You said sincerely.
Yes.
Can you give us instance of that? And why are you of that opinion that their monies are not clean?
We hear, so you are the ones who bring me here to the studio all the time, and we read about them now. This one killed this one because of rituals. This one killed this one because of money. This one. So we know that these things, there are underground ways by which... Begin to ask yourself, why will a Immaculator, for instance, be a newscaster and a broadcaster and a journalist, and the next thing is that we found 100 million in her ceiling? How? The entire studio, the entire company, is it up to 100 million that one staff has? So immediately your mind will tell you something has gone wrong. So much water has gone under the bridge. Like I'm saying, I am not investigating him. I'm only making a general comment, which it's obvious. And that is why we are hearing this type. That's why I said it's a two-way thing. Then the other one is the greed of the Nigerian police. They saw money, so they also need to share. That's what has happened. Everybody just shares. And it's our national wealth too, that everybody's just sharing. And later on they will tell us, please tighten your belt. Nigeria has issues. We are poor, but somebody is hiding millions in the ceiling. And you and I are struggling with keke.
Now, do you think this is an eye-opener to Nigerians, that policemen are very fast, very quick in placing allegation on people? Because in the case of Davison, information was given to them which would have been appropriate to call the EFCC, better still, to invade the compound. But the police people went there, and then they got this. Despite his explanation, they were quick in placing allegation of ritualists, and they went from there to some other things. So do you think cybercrime,
cybercrime,
do you think they are very fast in placing allegations on people without doing proper investigation?
Yes.
Because if this was not found out, there's every tendency that he would have carried that image of a ritualist, or better still.
Yeah, what has happened in my thinking is this. You see, assuming the police were patient and did a thorough job, that is investigation, thorough investigation, that is detached, objective investigation. They are detached from the matter. They are not greedy about the money, but they are looking at the issue. Who knows? Probably they could have discovered one or two shady deals. But they have spoiled the case. By going into grabbing the money, we now have to bury the real issue, which is how did you get the money? Nobody's going to talk about that one again, because if we go into that one, who knows what we will discover? What we'll rather discover, what we are going to talk about now is police. Why did you go and pick his money, return his money? But who is going to talk again about how did you get the money?
Well, they have said he's a contractor, and one of the supervisor, I mean to say.
Those things have to be investigated. We cannot just say
But don't you think they have done enough investigation for them to have returned
They didn't investigate.
Why do you think they did not do investigation?
They didn't investigate because the police were greedy.
This happened September 14, and the money was returned as of yesterday. And you are saying that they didn't do investigation?
There's nothing here that says they investigated his sources of income.
Okay, so why do you think the police were...
They didn't investigate the sources of income.
...to retrace their step by returning the money?
Because they did wrong by grabbing the money. You see, everybody is just looking for money rather than doing it legitimately.
But this is not the first incident that has happened. This is not the first time we have heard about police extorting money from people.
Yes.
So are you telling me that they are having the same...
Let me explain myself clearly again. Here's my point. You caught me with some money, but because you overstepped your legal bounds by grabbing that money, you have implicated your own self, because you grabbed the money. What you will have done is, don't grab the money, but investigate how did I get the money. But by grabbing it, you have become guilty. So how I got the money is now downplayed. That's the issue.
So what were they supposed to do? To leave the money in the ceiling, or not to go with the money?
No, you said it rightly. EFCC would have come in, and then they will investigate. How did you get the money? How come you're hiding it in the ceiling? If it's legitimate. Thank you.
Well, the Imo State University recently expelled 15 final year law students, including a Catholic priest from Olu Diocese and a lecturer from the Department of Management Sciences, for alleged involvement in various forms of exam malpractice. The university's decision, announced before Christmas Day, faced resistance from an official who threatened legal action unless the expulsion was ratified. While acknowledging the severity of the expulsion, a source at the university emphasized the guilt of the students, revealing that their actions, such as hiring others to take exams and using mobile phones during tests, were not isolated incidents, with malfeasance occurring in other departments as well. The Catholic priest hired a mercenary to take an examination on his behalf. According to him, the insecurity in the Olu axis of the state stopped him from traveling to Owerri to sit the examination. The Reverend Father was said to be driving to Owerri when his vehicle was shot by unknown gunmen, leading to his inability to eventually present himself at the examination hall on the fateful day. Also, the cabal that championed the expulsion opposed the female lecturer studying law whilst in the employ of the same university. The source said when contacted, the public relations officer of the university, Sir Ralph Njoku Obi, said he had no information on the matter yet. This matter is a little bit dicey because of a personality involved. And you know, in Nigeria, we hold people with calls, you know, in high esteem. And now, being a student, being once a student of the Imo State University, I know that the case of malpractices are actually investigated thoroughly. When the act is reported, there's a panel that is being set up, and no judgment will be passed unless the students or culprits have been found guilty. So now saying this crime was maybe alleged, it's not a matter of discussion. But now the thing is the personality involved, and now the father is saying he could not attend his examination because of the insecurity in his state. In your opinion, is that excusable?
When you ask me that, Chinyere, you are implying that you have already accepted that he faced security challenges. If we have accepted it, then that's enough. Why will I be driving to go take an exam? My vehicle was shot at. My life is threatened. And you are telling me that I did wrong by not proceeding. I should proceed as a dead body? No, now. The man, so if we have agreed in this studio now that he was threatened, then that's enough reason.
Now, but Doctor, do you also know that
I'm not justifying what else he did. I'm simply saying, I'm simply establishing that if all of us have agreed now that truly he faced security challenge, then we have...
Now, but do you also know that if he was on his way to the school prep for you, it doesn't just happen. You inform your mercenary and he or she prepares for the examination.
I agree with you.
So what do you think, who is lying to each other here? What do you think is going on? Because we're talking about a reverend father.
Like I said, I agree with you that malpractice is malpractice. But the first thing we want to establish is what led to that, and he is saying...
is insecurity.
So we should not gloss over that, because that kind of thing cannot happen to only one Nigerian. It means that there are things like this happening. It's just that unfortunately he was caught. One of my professors, when I was in the university training, he used to tell us that the problem with Nigeria is that there is an 11th commandment. When you have all the 10 commandments, the 11th one is thou shalt not be caught. Because he was caught.
Now...
so there are others.
What is... Doctor, don't you think that
his
integrity should be questioned? Because now, like I said, we were once students, and these people we used to call the SUs, people that, you know, were very religious, you see them in front. They don't want to be asked. They don't want you to ask them, and they don't want to, you know, they just concentrate because I don't know how they see themselves, like, okay, I have to be righteous in this examination. But now, this is a reverend father, and don't you think that he should have handled it with other... Of course, the insecurity in the state is something that everybody knows about, so it's not something you can lie about. Everybody in Imo State knows that, okay, some parts of the state is, you know, it's not really safe, and he should have gone through another route to handle that examination.
I've already said I agree with you.
You agree?
He is wrong. But you see, this is society watch, not priest watch. We need to watch the society. And yes.
Okay, so I feel like you're actually making a case for him right now.
No, it's not. No, you keep interrupting me, so I've not been able to learn. I'm saying this is society watch.
Okay,
this is not priest. This is not priest watch.
I want to look at it in this.
Here's my point. Please, no verse. Sorry for using that local parlance. Here's my point. If you have insecurity, must it be an on-site exam? What stops online exam? If you have established that there is an insecurity issue, why not say, priest, hold on. You have enough data? Let's see what we can do. An online exam is what is done all over the world, and you insist that he must come on, and die?
All right, sir.
And now you have led him to sin.
Now this is
he was led to sin.
Now this is it. I remember there's someone in University of Port Harcourt that wanted to write examination, defend project, and unfortunately, she has to go outside country because of unforeseen circumstances. And then she pleaded with lecturers that she wants to defend her project through Zoom. It was not allowed. So that is the case. We have not really heard from the Reverend Father what exactly happened around us. And what is making this story really so important right now is the fact that the Reverend Father was expelled. So I want to ask, do you think this will have a way of affecting the body of Christ, looking at a Reverend Father? You know, there is this special attention that masses give to Reverend Father. Like, they always forget that they are men before men of God. So let's look at it in that aspect. Do you think it will have a way of affecting the body of Christ? Like, why would you expel a Reverend Father?
Well, it will affect in various ways. First of all, the reputation of our degrees, because I'm also a pastor, the reputation of our degrees will be questioned. You introduce yourself somewhere and someone says, is that you people? Is it not you people that used to? And before you know it, they'll put a question mark. On even when by God's grace I become a professor, once they hear it's a professor, pastor, they say, your colleague used to do. So it will question our integrity, especially the integrity of our degrees. It will also, it will also question the integrity of the body of Christ, like you said, because why will I stand on the pulpit when I know that how I got my degrees had some compromises.
Okay,
So
but let's assume that
it's
what the Reverend Father said is actually the facts. And then the people have already carried a different picture about him. And you know, there is one thing about Christendom. When one person is faulted, it's not just about that person, it's about a group, the body.
Exactly.
So do you think this will have a way of affecting his image, even without this story being, even if what he said is actually the fact?
Like I said, it has already affected him, because as long as the facts were established that he compromised the exam procedures, it has affected his reputation. And it is wrong. It is wrong. Quickly now, I would have said that maybe if it was something that was available for counseling, stopping the exam completely is by far better than this nonsense that has happened now. That is, I didn't go to school.
But is this enough reason for them to actually expel them?
No.
Because
see,
this is alleged malpractice.
No.
It was
Chinyere had already told us that it was investigated. So this is not an allegation again. The issue is that malpractice, we have our rules in the university. Once the panel finds you guilty, you are expelled. But I'm simply saying that he shouldn't have, gone looking for self-help, because we call that self-help.
Okay,
he shouldn't have done that
doctor,
at all.
let's also look at
Yes.
Let's assume someone else is in this situation. You have an exam to write, and then you may not even be able to come out of your house because of some circumstances, or maybe insecurity, as the case may be. What can you actually do in Nigeria, knowing that you cannot just call and say, okay, can I have my exam online? You may not work for some, lecturers. And what other things can you do in this situation?
Chinyere, that is where trust in God comes in. If the owner of the church can tell his father, I would have loved that you remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, let your will be done. You have done everything possible, and you are under threat. Leave it that way. Fail and fail gloriously. If it has to come to, he failed. Fail gloriously. There will be a panel. There will also, the same panel that investigated him will have also investigated, why didn't you come for the exam? He will state his case and give evidence, show bullet holes on his vehicle where it was shot and reading with bullets. Those things, and then there will be witnesses. Before you know it, God can intervene. But for him to have done this other one is wrong for me, and is wrong for all of us.
All right. This is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network. We'll just go on a very short break to stay with us.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
It's Christmas season! Hooray! A time to make merry with loved ones, a time to give thanks, and a time to be a blessing. May your holiday season be filled with joy, laughter, and beautiful moments. From all of us in Morrison Communications Limited, Wish 99.5 FM and Atlantic Television Network, we wish you a Merry Christmas full of amazing experiences. Cheers to a beautiful year end.